Hello, Whatnuts, Humpty Dump Nuts, and Craig Butt Nuts. It is Thursday, May 16th in the United States of America, and this is What Chaos presented by Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports Made Easy. Use promo code WhatChaos for a first deposit match up to $100. My name is DJ Bean. The boy is Pete Blackburn, and the other boy is Sean DePaz. Hello, men.
Hello.
Hey, howdy, hey.
You see, they found the Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads.
I did, and it was in the LA Chargers schedule unveil episode.
All right, so I said after the show to you boys privately, I'm out on schedule release videos because they've peaked. There's no way anybody can make anything as good as what the Tennessee Titans made a couple of years ago. The Chargers ones are always good. Chargers put out some gold yesterday, so I'm back in. Even though I'd say like 90% of the schedule release videos are kind of bad and predictable now.
I find I get what you're saying. They have kind of jumped the shark a little bit, but they're always super entertaining when they get here. Like they always make my afternoon just going through and seeing what teams did. Harrison Butker in the kitchen for the Chargers video. Incredibly tidy bit of work and an incredibly quick turnaround.
Did you see the whole Chargers video though?
Yes, the Taylor Swift jet in the front yard.
Best one was the best part was the jet.
Yeah.
That was amazing. They were like, let's go outside, and there's a fucking jet in the middle of the street. That is so good. And I'm sure like some teams would be like, hey, don't take any shots at players because you never know. We might want to sign them down the road and everything. So I'm an oil man. Football, I'm a Chargers guy. I love that they don't give a fuck. They're like, we can get a joke off online. We're doing that instead.
We'll make fun of anybody.
Well, as Sean had shown, there's a little picture you could see in the background. There's the box of the missing bobbleheads. And I don't know if manually, folks, if you're watching, zoom in or squint. And you'll see that box says Jagr bobbleheads. My question is, was there a resolution with that?
They were found.
Just like they were found?
They were found.
And where were they?
They were like lost at a port in California, believe Northern California, and then they just happened to be found. I think that was the solution.
Was it suspicious or just not interesting?
I think it was just not interesting.
That's kind of a bummer. That was like a good 3 hours.
If there was drama in like the solution or the resolution there, would have been one of the best sports stories in like a decade.
My question, like a standoff.
Yeah.
If guns were involved,
they were
in the
holding
Jagr,
them hostage.
If guns were involved in the Jagr thing, and nobody was hurt or shot, and all the guns were purchased legally through secure background checks, that would have been cool as fuck.
Absolutely. I would have liked to see a ransom note, maybe some magazine letters cut out.
How do they do ransom notes now? People aren't buying magazines anymore.
No, I mean, I feel like ransom notes don't exist anymore. It's like malware, right?
Just do like different fonts.
We used to be
print.
We used to be a society. Used to rob banks. Used to hand out ransom notes.
Oh no, malware is a thing because you hear what Aaron Rodgers said.
Yeah, you won't catch him watching internet porn.
He said he doesn't watch internet porn because that's how they get you.
And then Tucker Carlson did his weird fucking laugh.
I don't understand why any prominent person would get into internet porn, he said. Like,
because they like jerking off.
Into internet porn, like it's a hobby.
Right.
Yeah, like do you think that I know that there's like porn addiction and everything, but like do you think that anybody gets into porn for like the sport of it?
Absolutely.
So I guess
people go to conventions.
I mean,
for
there's
porn.
people in the industry for sure, and then but those people are just
those are like they live in their own world. The people who like get too into porn.
I'm hesitant to like shame here but I kind of want to shame here.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I feel like non-porn people get shamed more heavily than super porn people.
I mean, the Aaron Rodgers thing, I just don't trust anybody who like comes out and says they don't watch porn.
That sounds like you're a freak. You're a little bit of a deviant.
Like,
So that's what I'm saying. That's what like when people are like not really. So like I know some non-porn people. I'll be honest. Like I'm not the biggest porn person. I'm like a go experience life person.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like,
I don't
somebody who is like staunchly, I don't watch porn, and then he followed it up with like, I don't do any freaky stuff.
Yeah, it's not
cool. You're boring.
I don't
Sick.
have like if you don't watch porn, like you're better than I am. Fine. Like,
Yeah.
that's completely fine. But the people that often say that they don't watch porn, like Aaron Rodgers did in this situation, made it sound like he watches the most porn ever.
And it does sound like that. And when the people who say that they don't watch porn usually are the people that like clearly could benefit from watching porn and spending less time on the internet doing other shit.
And it's
like
also
Aaron
true.
Rodgers is
Like,
just
yeah.
deep into the chat rooms and conspiracy theory boards. Just go watch porn, brother. You'll be much healthier.
And also, don't fucking shame other people for watching porn.
I don't
like-
think that it didn't seem like he was like shaming other people for
Well,
watching.
I'm not saying that him specifically. I feel like oftentimes the people that say they don't watch porn are doing it in a holier than thou, I'm better than you kind of way.
Fair. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that some non-porn people just kind of shrug it off of like, oh, I just have sex instead. And then they get shamed for being hardos when they say that. But I think that Rodgers was saying it in a, you're not going to get me. Nice try, big porn.
I guarantee whatever is on Aaron Rodgers' search history would make people cast more judgment on him than whatever he would be looking up for porn.
Somebody in the chat says DJ could name 100+ porn stars right now, but he won't. I swear to God, I cannot name one porn star. I honestly swear to God, I cannot name one porn star.
Good for you.
I know of Mia Khalifa because they became like a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know Johnny
outside of it.
Sins?
What's that?
Johnny Sins?
No.
Okay.
I know Sasha Grey
No,
was in
no.
Entourage.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You're rattling off like the greatest hits.
Okay, so and then there was Jenna Jameson.
Oh, that's
I mean,
that's a
the
million
big
years
one
ago.
right now, Stormy Daniels.
Stormy. Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. I can name 4 porn stars. I'm almost on my way to 100. That's gonna be my it's gonna be my New Year's resolution. Learn names of more. I'm not gonna watch more porn.
Don't watch any porn.
I'm just gonna like learn about the porn industry.
I don't
Look
know
at
if
this,
you want to do that either. It's not going to be too fun.
Credit to me. We had the porn star discussion. The one person's name that I dropped was a man.
Oh yeah,
That is true.
No, there's
But-
another one who's
Girth
this
Master.
is embarrassing.
Girthmaster.
Yeah,
That's right.
true.
This is Ron Jeremy
Yeah.
thing?
I
That-
I
think
mean,
he-
like he's.
He's like the Cheech and Chong of porn stars.
Well, I think he's. I
You're
think
naming
he's
people who
aged.
like have only been like relevant when we were in middle school.
Debbie Does Dallas. Is
I
that
think
a
Ron Jeremy aged poorly. in
Oh
a-
yeah, he's problematic.
in a problematic sense.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he's been canceled.
great line in I forget who she's saying it about, but in the first episode of Hacks this season, they bring Deborah Vance a bunch of dresses. She's like, "Oh, we have it from this company, from this artist, and this dress maker, or whatever." She said, "Oh, I heard this week that so and so is very problematic." And they were like, "All right, well then we'll take it off the rack." And she said, "I didn't say I wouldn't wear it. I'm just saying something annoying that happened to me this week." Porn to the eyes of hockey fans
That's right.
is Joe Pavelski back as the Avalanche finally win a game. It's 3-2.
I'm very glad we got our moment. Joe Pavelski on the board felt so good. We were waiting for. So for anybody who is not aware, we've been piling on Joe Pavelski for looking very old.
Have
this
been just been
postseason.
observing Joe Pavelski, not piling. I would not
think
say
we've been-
piling.
I think we've been piling on. We've kind of leaned into the Joe Pavelski as a decrepit old man sort of narrative, and to a large degree, we've been right. But Joe Pavelski had a great game last night, despite a Dallas Stars loss. Got on the board with his first goal of the postseason and had a secondary assist.
Yep, not as good a game though as Cale Makar. It had been noted that for the first time since February, Cale Makar had no points in 3 straight games. Avalanche going absolutely nowhere without Cale Makar showing up. Probably not going anywhere with Cale Makar showing up. But 2 goals last night, 2 big goals as the Avalanche take Game 5, force a Game 6. Strong third period out of those boys in white and maroon and light blue.
Maroon? Burgundy?
What are the Avalanche's colors?
I would say
it's like
it's
a burgundy.
maroon. I feel like a burgundy's a little redder.
Well, do you see any juice out of the Avalanche, or do you feel this is still very over? I will maintain nobody's beating the Stars
I don't
3
think
games in a row. And I know that now it's just 2 games in a row, but I don't know if anybody beats the Stars 2 games in a row again after the Knights did it.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I think it's too much of an uphill climb for an Avalanche team that's been pretty inconsistent. It was good to see, obviously, some of their guys get going. Cale Makar among them. I think that Michael Jordan meme took it personally that you brought up that he hadn't scored in 3 straight games. So, I mean, obviously, you've got some good signs, some signs of life from the Avalanche. I just think that Dallas is too good, and they keep their foot on the gas.
Yeah, unusual third period. Just a crazy third period last
Jake Ottinger
night.
wasn't good in the third period last night.
Yeah, Sean's making a face.
Just that one goal he let between his legs was not good. Also, number crunch. It is technically burgundy.
It's burgundy. Okay. Yeah, that was... I tried to DFS a live line of 60-minute line is draw, meaning I tried to bet in the third period this game is going to overtime. They wouldn't even let me because I think they were pretty sure, even though it was at that point, I think like a 4-3 game or something like that, maybe 3-2, whatever it was. They didn't even let you bet that it was going to overtime, which makes me think they were so positive it was going to overtime. I'm shocked that ended up being a 2-goal game.
Same. And we haven't talked about this yet, but I found it impossible to live bet these playoffs because of the fucking TV delay. It has been absolutely impossible. The TV delay during these playoffs is insane. And there's no uniformity to it. Like, even me and you, we've both been on cable. We both have Comcast. And there's been points where our delay has been very different from one another. So, like, the delay seemingly is way worse this year than it's ever been. And I can't stand it. I don't know if it's like just me, but I had to turn off Twitter notifications. I've spent most of this playoff run like just not monitoring Twitter whatsoever because I've had so many goals spoiled for me. And like I can't even look at my text messages now because I had a few goals last night ruined by a friend who was watching the game and got it like 90 seconds before I did.
Oh, I mean, I would speak very glowingly of my NBC friends. And NBC Boston is a wonderful building. It's terrific. However, for whatever reason, when I have to do post-game stuff there, I watch in a conference room by myself. It's very nice. No distractions. Except, like, Katie is watching in New York and was, like 90 seconds ahead of, at least 90 seconds ahead of me. I think quite a bit ahead of you as well. And I'm like, this place is the cable company.
Right.
Shouldn't this have it first?
There feels like there has to be like federal regulations on TV delays, and there needs to be a standardization and get everybody on the same plane, especially with live betting, because live betting now, like, you're fucked if you're so far behind.
The good news is I can just get in a group text. I could see a text from Katie that says like, "Oh, God damn it." And I'll just be like, "You're fucking telling me." Even not even knowing that she's
Just
talking
a
about a
general
sports
sense of
thing.
dread.
Yeah, just like if I get a text from most of my friends being like, "Well, this sucks," I'm like, "Yeah, well, just I guess we just keep living." You know, tomorrow's a new day, I suppose. And then, fuck, the Panthers scored as well. All right, yeah. The delay thing isn't bugging me as much as it's bugging you, but I've also been DFSing a lot less outside of just hammering prize picks. Like, I haven't been jumping on, here's what's going to happen in this game. I'm more just on that kind of prop life anyway. But I imagine it would be very frustrating when you're trying to bet or DFS on a game. I'm stupid enough that my friend Rich, this happens to as well, will be at a Celtics game and we'll do the thing of where you check an app to see like what the score is,
And you think you're about to spoil it?
and you're like, I'm fucking
Yep.
watching. Like, Jason Tatum has the ball in his hands.
It is
He didn't score yet.
scientifically impossible for them to ruin this thing that I'm watching live.
But
I
you
have
know
that
what's-
all the time.
Wait, so you do that
Yeah,
too?
all the time, because it was big for me in baseball, because I would go to baseball games and bet all the time, and I'm like, not only is baseball the slowest sport imaginable, it is also happening in front of my eyes, and I feel like I'm gonna have a home run spoiled for me or something like that.
Wild stuff. A little behavior thing I want to check in, or I guess we'll start with the big behavior thing, which is if you saw on our Twitter, we can't post the clip, so Pete was very wise to say post the clip on Twitter, and then we won't have to show it during the show. 52 seconds into the third period last night, it was a tie game, 2-2. Game was being played at Dallas. The Stars had an offensive zone faceoff. They play in Dallas, Livin' on a Prayer, a song that has been discussed for its Mickey Mouse, cheap, every fucking place does that qualities, but also, per a petition, its adverse effect on the teams that play it.
Court Lalonde, shout out Court Lalonde.
Shout out Court Lalonde.
Who confirmed to us that he was just making up the stats that he put in his petition. Incredible behavior. Shout out Court. Much respect. I do love anybody who like backs up their argument with fake facts.
Yeah.
And then just like stands behind that and just says, yeah, they were made up.
If we're arguing about stuff that doesn't mean anything, lie.
Oh yeah,
yes,
like
exactly.
go for it.
So like that became a thing that had been like a hobby of mine, not in like a pathological way, but like Pete and I got more and more into like harmless lies, and then we just started like really lying to each other.
It was essentially like it's kind of like had the air of a prank war.
Yeah.
But instead of a quote unquote prank, we just lied to each other and
Like
then wouldn't
pack your
address
bags,
it.
buddy. Like I almost did to you the other day. I almost did before the game. I almost texted you. No pressure, but if the Bruins win tonight, we have a suite for Game 6. And if you're gonna be like,
That's so mean.
WTF, really? I'd be like, haven't asked yet, but
Crazy.
we could. So no, yeah. So like, that's not harmless. That gets people. I forget what we were doing, but like, we were sending each other like, pack your bags, buddy. We're going to wherever. Like, we are. No, but shout out Court Lalonde. We're on Felger and Maz today, by the way, at 3 p.m. Want to just like sneak in a couple of lies?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Back up arguments with, we'll call them soft facts.
Just soft facts.
Things that aren't true but don't matter.
The things that aren't true but sound like they could be true.
Yeah. I mean,
the hosts were very knowledgeable about lies, which is rare for a sports podcast like this.
Hey, Felger at 985thesportshub.com. FELGER at 985thesportshub.com. Send emails about the job that we did and make it good. Because last time, the emails they get a bunch of like, Felger, it's so great to see a couple of millennials come in and break your brain. But the ones they choose to read are, you're right. I don't know what's wrong with those kids. And fuck DJ. God, he really just like must take real sick pleasure in like annoying you and blah, 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 which maybe a little guilty. But also like they overstate how many jokes we make on there.
Yeah. But back to canceling Living on a Prayer.
Yes, I was getting there. 52 seconds in, they play Living on a Prayer. They have an offensive zone faceoff to the Stars. They lose the faceoff, and on that shift, Casey Middlestat scores for the Avalanche to give Colorado its first lead of the entire series. Further proof for Court Lalonde's arguments and his records that playing Living on a Prayer not only is cheesy and stupid and cringeworthy, it actually hurts your team. Don't fucking do it. And I don't even care about the it hurts your team element, because I'm just rooting for it to hurt your team. Now that it's actually happening, I think that there's reason outside of it annoys me for teams to stop fucking doing it.
Yeah, there's scientific proof now that song ruins the vibes. So I'm totally down with this podcast. Its main purpose just existing to cancel Living on a Prayer at sporting events.
Again, I'm still on board. You want to play John Bon Jovi or you want to play Bon Jovi, do whatever you want. Don't make it Living on a Prayer. And somebody noted to me yesterday on Twitter, right after that happened, if any arena should be playing like Wanted Dead or Alive, wouldn't that be the Texas team?
I heard some feedback from Dallas people and Stars fans that they really don't want to lean into the Texas theme of being the Texas team in the NHL.
Well, then maybe you should consider not being in Texas.
Maybe you should consider your logo not being the shape of the fucking state. I had that realization today. Like their center ice thing, like that
Well,
was
the center ice thing rules. I think that's like the better logo
What's
version.
their hashtag again?
It's probably
It's Texas hockey.
Is it really?
Oh,
It's
I don't know.
Texas
I don't
hockey.
know if it was when they had canceled or not. But yeah, their logo's Texas, but everyone in Texas hates Dallas. I feel like
Everybody in Texas hates Austin, right?
I feel like
This is
everyone
very
in
A lot of
Texas,
people out-
Texas is Canada, where it's just like we hate everyone outside,
Of where we
but
live.
then when we're inside, we hate everyone inside.
You see Zach Cassian yesterday? A little surprising. He was on Oilers Nation every day for the All Armenian show that they had yesterday, featuring yours truly. And Zach Cassian said, "You know what? Nothing like Oilers games for the playoffs," which a former Oiler is going to say that. But then he got into specifics about why the other Canadian markets are kind of weak when it comes to the postseason. I wouldn't have said something like that.
He really only got into specifics about why Toronto is
Toronto,
weak,
yeah.
Yeah.
which is everybody in Canada
But
is going to agree
he
with him.
dunked on like the crowd at Leafs games,
Which
makes sense. And
Maple
everybody
Leafs
dunks on
fans
them.
dunk on the crowd.
Yeah,
in these
right.
games.
It's it's new Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Wubbs points out, is it okay behavior to play Livin' on a Prayer at the 10-minute mark of the second period? And that's the only time where I want to hear that song, because it's, oh, we're halfway there. Oh, Livin' on a Prayer. Like, if you're losing in the game and you hit the 10-minute mark of the second period, I think it's okay behavior to play Livin' on a Prayer, because it actually has like a meaning and a purpose.
There are so many other songs you could play. You could play Stuck in the Middle with You. You could play Half a Mile Away. You could play so many songs that suggest you're at the middle point. You could play The Middle by Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
That would get, man, you're fucking down 4-0. They get a whistle. It just takes. Everybody's jumping up and down. And then they do the same thing where the song cuts out. And then everybody's doing the everything will be up. Do that shit. That's so much cooler.
I will say
No
Dallas.
Living on a Prayer at all.
I will say Dallas last night was engaging in sing-alongs for quite a few songs during that game.
Were they?
Yeah, I heard Mr. Brightside when they were there was like a break and play.
Fine behavior. You got to do
Yeah.
that no matter where it's played.
Yeah, like you can't hear Mr. Brightside and not get into a sing-along. So I just go in a different direction other than Living on a Prayer. Also, while we're on bad behavior from the Dallas Stars arena, playoffs not completely dead. They still do the playoffs thing for in-arena presentation. Crazy, which is almost more embarrassing. To Sean's point before the show, Sean said it's almost more embarrassing that they're kind of hiding it from the public, but still doing it.
Yeah, they're ashamed, which is like, if you're going to do it in front of everybody's face and be proud of it, or don't do it at all because it's stupid as shit. But don't get bullied out of doing it publicly and then just do it privately for you and your friends. That's weird behavior.
Did they have some sort of deal with whoever made the playoffs thing that they were like, that there'll be X amount of exposure guaranteed, and then once it got canceled, they were like, "Fuck, all right, how can we just kind of like slip it in here?"
I think you got to do whatever it takes to get out of that agreement.
Whatever.
I just think you either gotta say, you know what, this is our thing, we're doing it, or you're not doing it at all. You can't play it down the middle. And bad behavior from the Stars, we can maybe, put 2 and 2 together and say that's why they lost last night.
Okay. How about behavior in this game? You see the Jared Bednar lookalike standing behind Jared Bednar.
I did.
That guy's fantastic.
He is.
Just like a slightly heavier, less groomed Jared Bednar.
Something that's getting kind of overlooked here is the person cosplaying as the big boob lady next to that guy.
Oh!
I didn't even realize that's what that was. But that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's 2 cosplayers behind the Avs bench last night. The Jared Bednar execution, not amazing. Like, it's not quite to the par of who is the Ottawa Senators coach with the big mustache. Remember, he had the lookalike that constantly sat behind the bench there. Not quite as effective as that, but I always do appreciate and get a laugh out of somebody doing a lookalike behind the bench.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan of that.
Excellent behavior.
That's great. All right, so that's like hockey's version of the Beavis and Butthead thing that SNL is running into the ground. I'm going to take that. The big boob lady, you're right, is a real cherry on top of that. It's fantastic stuff. Do we have a series though?
No. I think that we have a series.
It's going back to Colorado.
Like they could force Game 7. I'm still picking Dallas no matter what. I think that Dallas is the team.
Well, how about this? Every second round series has gone 6 games. And what's wild about this, and I love that for hockey, right? That's good. You don't want any of the quick ones, even though I am kind of looking forward to the nights coming up where it'll be like last night where there's just one game.
Yeah.
A little more peaceful. Get a little more rest.
I want like the occasional one night game, but once we're in the one night maximum stage, it's a little sobering. It's a little like, oh fuck, we're nearing the end here.
You know what's crazy though? Every series in this round has gone 6 games. Only one of them has been 2-2.
Yeah, it's wild.
It was 3-0 Rangers, it was 3-1 Panthers, and it was 3-1 Stars. Leave it to the Oilers and Canucks to be the only series that looks like it's just 2 teams playing hockey.
In this round, teams 0-4 with a chance to clinch.
Oh, that's right. And I'm trying to think of which one has the best chance of going 7. I guess that you'd say that based on it being 2-2, the Oilers and Canucks have the best chance of going 7. But of
the 3-1s?
Of the 3-2 ones, which one do you think go 7?
I think
I really want Rangers Hurricanes.
I really
to go 7.
want that one. Like if I had to power rank which ones I want that one.
No, you want Bruins.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Although Game 7 would kill you.
But just from like a hockey entertainment standpoint, I would put Rangers Hurricanes first.
Mm-hmm.
But for my selfish purposes, and I guess from like the narrative standpoint, having Bruins Panthers go 7 would be amazing. And like if there are hockey gods, I feel like that one deserves to go 7 the most. Not for like the quality of play and the discrepancy between the two teams, but just because of the narrative. You've got the game that maybe was taken away from the Bruins because of the goaltender interference. You've got the Uno reverse card on the 3-1 series in back-to-back years. I think that one would be the juiciest in terms of like a storyline.
If I'm ranking which ones I think go 7 games, I would say the best chance is Boston, Florida. I would say the second best chance of going 7 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like of all these teams going into Game 6, we'll put it. Colorado at home trying to force a Game 7. Boston at home trying to force a Game 7. Carolina at home trying to force a Game 7. I give the best odds to the Bruins. I give the second best odds to the Hurricanes, and I give the worst odds to the Avalanche. Best odds to the Bruins. I think there's just so much momentum that could be there. Charlie McAvoy has come back to life. Jeremy Swayman is getting an extra day of rest, which is great. Brad Marchand practiced today on the second line, on the first power play, bumping JVR back down to the PP2. Like everything for Boston is pointing up where it had been pointing down and down and down for a long time. I'm not saying that they definitely win Game 6. I don't even know if it's more than a coin flip, but I feel better about them just with all the momentum of going back home. McAvoy's been better. They're getting Marchand back. As I said, an extra day of rest, I think will do the goalie really well. They're not going to take a fucking too many men penalty in Game 6.
That's a bold proclamation.
That man is going to have both hands on pants if need be.
You're only including the 3. You're not including Oilers Canucks in this?
Right now, yeah, we're saying of like the 3-2 because a 2-2 series going Game 7 isn't very exciting.
But what I want to ask you, like, do you think that wouldn't you say that the Bruins Panthers series has been the most lopsided in terms of like actual on ice play?
I think it might be the most lopsided, but also the better team has won every game. There hasn't been a game this series where like, fuck, they kind of got away with that one. Certainly games 1 and maybe 2 or 3, I get them like blurred. They weren't as lopsided as the final score would suggest, but the Bruins were the better team in Game 1. The Bruins were the better team in Game 5. The other 3, Panthers were better. And I'm saying that from eye test, and I'm also saying that from expected goals and Corsi and all these things, all situations, 5-on-5, et cetera, et cetera. The better team has won all these games. So that's why that's the little bone that I give Bruins fans, where we do keep saying that Panthers are the better team. Panthers are the better team. They have the better roster, of course. But you've still played better than them in 2 of the games. So it's not like you're getting completely pumped over here.
And that's
You've
why
shown that you can play better than them.
And I think that's why a lot of people are pissed and were pissed about the goaltender interference thing, because you had an opportunity to steal a game in which you were outplayed and it was kind of taken away from you, and you need those games.
Agree. But you said that you reverse card. You were talking about the 3-1 thing, but there have been 2 games that were decided, or not decided, but heavily influenced by officiating. One was in favor of the Panthers, obviously. One was in favor of the Bruins.
So
I would love for that to be
even?
over. I would love for that just stop.
Same.
Make that over. Although Bruins will probably still take more penalties than the Panthers just because they've generally been chasing it. But yeah, of those 3, which series would you say has the best chance of going 7 of those 3?
I think
Rangers?
New York and Carolina, just because it's been so even at 5-on-5, and as long as the Hurricanes stay out of the box in Game 6, they're at home. I think they have a lot of juice in that building, and they force a Game 7.
Of the teams, I'll give you this. So I said that the Panthers, Bruins, what has been supposed to happen has happened. Rangers, Hurricanes, you disagreed with me when I said this a couple of days ago. That series has the better team has lost. Panthers or the Hurricanes were right there, if not better than the Rangers in games 2 and 3. They should not have been down 3-0 in the series, but that's just fucking playoff hockey, game of bounces, game of inches, everything. Those 2 teams are closer to each other for sure than the Rangers and the Bruins are, or than the Panthers and the Bruins are. The Bruins just have more juice right now.
They definitely are, but when you say the worst team won or whatever, I disagree. Even if it's when we're talking about not 5-on-5, the Carolina Hurricanes were taking entirely too many penalties, and they were just getting smoked on special teams, and that's not kind of unfair sort of deal. That's you reap what you sow. And the Hurricanes, their power play has been atrocious for most of the series. They've been outscored on the power play in this series, and I think they just put themselves in the box too much.
Well, we mentioned that the schedules are out in the NFL, and boy, are they. That means that you could start thinking about which games you want to attend. And I'm known to attend a Chargers game or 2 in my time. I've only been to 1 Chargers game. It was the best. Went with our friend Kellen and our friend Katie. It was a very, very great time. They won Sunday Night Football. Amazing pass from Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen. RIP the Chargers having good wide receivers. Anyway, Game Time is what I will be using when I get my tickets for the NFL this season, whether I'm hitting the road, going to SoFi Stadium, or just staying local, going to Gillette. There's a lot of... if I want to spend my Sunday afternoons at a football game, Patriots are the right team because they're just getting a lot of 1 p.m.ers.
Mm-hmm. Week 18, baby.
What's that?
Week 18, Bills at Patriots.
You're really going to go watch the Bills rest players?
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
They're not going to play anybody in that game.
I'll watch the Bills backups for $20 and watch them beat the Patriots. Any opportunity for me to go in a group and to be amongst a lot of Patriots fans and celebrate.
I feel like week 18, Patriots
but
fans are going to be rooting for the Patriots to lose to get a higher draft pick. So I don't think you're going to get many sad Patriots fans.
You got faith in
got to get Jacoby a left tackle. Okay,
Jacoby.
He's a starting quarterback, man.
Okay,
they got some kids in there. I'll tell you what. I also watched a little bit of whatever passing camps they just did. That Joe Milton, he's no joke. That ball comes out of his hand. Did you see the side-by-side things they were doing with Drake May and Jaden Daniels? I'm like, fuck that. Do that side-by-side Drake May and Joe Milton. That ball is in Kansas by the time it comes out of Drake May's hand. Joe Milton hucks that thing a mile. And what's great about Game Time is I go back, I'll check 5 minutes later, and I'll find, now there's a little flash deal, the little lightning bolt thing. They truly are tireless about finding you the best deals for the games you want to attend. I love the all-in pricing feature where you can know this is what I'm paying. What you see is what you get. It's very, very easy. It takes the guesswork out of buying tickets, so I hope that you could do the same with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CHAOS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAOS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Today's episode also brought to you by Bauer, our friends at Bauer. You know them because I won't shut up about how much I like their clothes. They have the best fucking workout clothes you've ever heard or ever seen, ever worn.
They're very loud.
They're very loud. They're actually not. They have very understated clothing, but so comfortable, premium materials. Ooh, baby. They got a lot of great sweatshirts, some joggers, all the good stuff. But if you're a hockey player, they've also established themselves as one of the best equipment companies on the market. So it's your destination for all your training needs, whether you're an elite skater or a rookie in rec league. Their training tools are built to help you become the player that you've always wanted to be. Or if you just want to look good, they got you covered there too. So head to Bauer.com/training to explore the full range of training gear, like the digital reactor dangler for stick handling drills or the reactor slide board to help add strength to your stride. And use code FREESHIPWC for free shipping, or visit a local Bauer retailer to get started today. Again, that's Bauer.com/training using code FREESHIPWC.
Sean, a little birdie told me we got some super chats.
Yeah, we do. Katie, I doubted Katie yesterday because she said Avs are alive, and I said, I don't know what's happened over the last 48 hours to make you believe that. But they're still alive, so we still get our Katie super chats.
Amazing. Thank you,
It's a
Katie.
$10 super chat from Katie. Hell yeah.
We're not dead yet. Avs in 7. Love of your life. I mean, I feel like there's been something going on in the chat that we need to address because these next 3 super chats are all about that. Love of your life said, Yaroslav final boss ski, # keep crying, # go Habs go. Your boy Lark said he's so broke he can't even super chat. And K-Red said, proud Philly Mormon over here. We have a Panthers fan in the chat who has been trolling everybody like unbelievably, like nonstop. Anytime anyone says anybody, they say, keep crying, little buddy. Or they call somebody a cat lady.
Okay, so here's my question, though. Is this a Panthers fan? The last part kind of answers my question, but is this a Panthers fan being obnoxiously pro-Panthers, which I allow, encourage, root for your team, or are they being mean?
Are they just disrupting
It is literally,
the vibes?
it is, I think they might be disrupting vibes a little bit. Literally, all they're doing, though, is saying, I'm surfing on Boston fans' tears. And then anytime anyone says something, they say, keep crying. And that's literally been all it's been. I don't think they've said any, they called one person a Mormon. I don't know what we want to do with that. But there's been no, slurs or anything like that. They're just being a troll.
Chat says no, they're just being rude. All right. Well, I mean, I guess
Okay,
you're
well,
allowed to be rude.
I don't know. They added me specifically. They said at what
As
chaos.
long as they're not targeting somebody or being rude or not problematically rude.
I find it hilarious personally because they added me specifically. I don't have the power to kick them out of the chat, which is just a bold move. I respect it. I don't think they've done anything too far.
They just said, keep crying, hosts and producers. Okay, this is horrible. I'm kind of liking this. I don't know
That's what I'm
why.
saying. It's kind of my energy, so I can't be too mad at it.
Okay,
Anyway.
well, we're gonna keep an eye on it though. We're okay. We're watching you. Final boss is the name.
Yep,
Yeah.
final boss with the.
Florida owns all of you. Okay.
It's literally been that over and over again. So
Well-
as literally rest of the chat, if you're bothered by it, as long as you don't talk to them, they're not gonna at you. I feel like
Well, if you're in the chat,
you could also just block them.
you can block them or you can give us a like because it's like spike time.
Ah.
3, 2, 1. Hit the thumbs up button right below the video player. We appreciate you. Get those likes up, 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 up. Show it to Final Boss. Kick his ass by hitting that like button right below the video player. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that now. We would very much appreciate your subscription. Costs you nothing.
I was
And-
saying that we should charge Final Boss super chats if he wants to keep being in the chat spamming. That's what your boy
Yeah.
Lark was referencing.
I mean,
because he's saying he's so broke he can't super chat.
be nice, which it seems like they're not super into that, but don't hurt people's feelings. Don't be an asshole, et cetera, et cetera. Other than that, we're seeing some people say oh, it's just a weird little brother that we have in here, and then you have some people being you know what, I think he's kind of rude. So, and yes, we're assuming it's a he because women, shout out you. You can be mean online. We're always going to assume someone that's being an asshole is a man, and that's because of men,
It's safe.
and
Yeah.
that's because they've built up a reputation.
Only thing I'll ask Final Boss is if the Bruins come back and win this series, we need you in the chat the day after.
Yeah.
You got to face
Hell
the
yeah.
music. So stick around.
You gotta let us toss your tears in the old freezer. Make a little iced coffee with Final Boss's tears.
He surfs on Bruins tears. We drink.
Yeah, we got to wear our swim trunks to the episode.
We
day
keep
after.
our cold brew nice and chilled with the frozen tears of an upset Floridian child. Also, I'm assuming now everyone who's mean to me online is a child. Someone took a shot at me on Twitter the other day. I don't like to quote tweet. I don't like to dunk, but I quote tweeted them. I called them young man. It felt amazing.
Hell yeah.
Got some good responses to it. A lot of behavior that we've got to check quickly. Max Strus, who, if you don't know who that is, it's a basketball player for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Used to play for the Miami Heat last year. He is from Chicago, and he wore a custom Panthers jersey entering TD Garden last night. The Cavs were down 3-1 in the series. That's maybe what the 3-1 is for on that jersey. And the Celtics fucking killed the Cavs, which they were supposed to. They were supposed to sweep that series anyway. Strus, Cavs, dead. They've gone home. Is this good behavior, though? Because I saw a lot of people saying the same thing about this behavior.
I think it's stupid. What kind of effect does it have on any of this?
Well, I think he was wearing it to say,
just
like,
trolling.
To troll Boston fans, say, like, I'm in your oh yeah, I'm wearing the last thing you want someone to wear in here right now.
But he's like, it would make sense. He played for the Heat previously.
Yes.
So I would guess that
And
he
he
got
kinda
that
killed
jersey.
them.
Yeah, he definitely got it last year.
Year?
He wears number 31. It was
Okay.
like given to him when he played
So
in Miami.
one of the things that people were saying was like, I get if you want to wear a Panthers thing, but you took it a little far doing a custom jersey. As someone who owns multiple jerseys with my full name printed on them,
Yeah.
it was
It was a
given to
gift.
him.
Yeah.
It was a gift, and it's a great gift. Love when people give us jerseys. I'd like to just have my last name on the back, but beggars can't be choosers. That was a gift. I think it was a kind of useless troll on his part. He knew he was going down. At least he got a little attention in the process. But I'll tell you, that was like a big thing in both hockey Twitter and basketball Twitter yesterday. Maybe because people thought that both series that were being played were over and they needed something to get excited about. But like Max Strus, Panthers jersey, TD Garden, that shit was hot in the streets last night. I couldn't get away from it.
Yeah. It seems like a reach in terms of like a trolling thing, because how many people actually care?
So like
A lot of people.
yeah,
Boston fans were not happy.
that
about
was
it.
like a bit, like I'm saying, like NBA Twitter, like I was seeing like Bleacher Report, everybody was doing shit on it.
But I don't know if it really did it bother people. Like it just
There were
made me
people on
roll
Twitter
my eyes.
because Gabe Vincent did it last round, I think, with the Heat, and they were like, "Didn't work last round, didn't work this time, losers." It's like that's not what it's about.
It just
Like,
makes me
literally
roll
just-
my eyes.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be reacting that way if a Celtics player walked in with a
That's
Bruins jersey, I guess.
with a Bruins
Or
jersey.
I guess this is not a one-to-one.
like
comparison,
if that was a Celtics player who wore a Panthers jersey, I would be like, well, that's horrible behavior.
I
and
mean,
you
Jason
absolutely
Tatum
should-
wears St. Louis Blues sneakers
but
with his Celtics jersey.
But like that would piss me off if the Bruins were playing the Blues in the Stanley Cup final.
So as a fan, you could only be upset if your team does something that
I think so,
that
yeah.
goes against another one of your teams.
yeah,
I can get that. I also think that Boston basketball fans are a little bored right now. Like I was at
Probably.
game 2 of that series, which the Cavaliers won to make it a 1-1 series. And I was like, I'm watching a fucking exhibition game.
It was so funny because everyone like the Cavs were actively like playing in the second round of the playoffs, and they're like, "All right, well, whenever this ends, they're blowing this team up," and it's like,
You're in the second round.
"You're in the second round of the playoffs." What's
Yeah,
going on?
there were already reports before the series ended about what might happen with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
and like
or
teams that were
Garland
trying to
wanted
get
request
Donovan
a trade.
Mitchell.
It's like, what's going on?
So chat, couple points from the chat. Catherine says, I wasn't deeply offended, more confused. That's essentially what was my stance. I'm just
I understand
trying to
being
wrap my
confused.
head around how that affects anybody, why anybody should care. And the point that somebody made that like if Jason Tatum wore a Matthew Tkachuk jersey to a Celtics game because he's
That's
friends
his
with
boy,
Matthew
yeah.
Tkachuk, they went to school together. Like if he wore a Matthew Tkachuk jersey to TD Garden, I'd be fucking furious.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought you were going there, and I was going to be surprised. Yeah, that would be.
I would be
crazy
fucking
bad
furious.
behavior.
I do not give a shit if you're friends with Matthew Tkachuk. You can't do that.
If the Bruins weren't in the playoffs right now and were like bad, and the Panthers
Right.
were like, then go for it.
Go
I guess.
for it.
But yeah, not while you're actively.
And I actually
playing in series.
like, as a Celtics fan, I love that Jason Tatum is friends with Matthew Tkachuk. Like that is, I think that people want Jason Tatum to have a little more Matthew Tkachuk to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, I'm sure that like hockey fans want Matthew Tkachuk to have a little more Jason Tatum to him because Jason Tatum is like the best at his sport, and Matthew Tkachuk is like, we're fucking getting this done. This is all your problem. I think people wish that Jason Tatum had a little bit of that, but yeah, he's got to turn that shit off, which he does when the two teams are playing at the same time.
You know what pissed me off? Kind of in the same vein. When Tom Brady was here, he was photographed wearing a Yankees hat, and that pissed me off. You can't do that. And like especially like Tom Brady's not from New York.
Yeah.
He's from California.
Oh yeah.
He's from California. Like you have no tie to the Yankees, no ties to New York. If you're the most prominent athlete in Boston, you can't wear a Yankees hat.
I got in a big
so
fight.
That pissed me off.
I got in a big fight a couple years ago with Mark Bertrand of 98.5 The Sports Hub fame because Kemba Walker wore a Yankees fitted during a press conference. This was when he was playing on the Celtics, and I said 1,000% fair play.
He's a New York
being
guy.
himself. He's like he's famously New York. It would be so weird to me if he was wearing like a Revs hat or something like that. When it's like that can't be your team.
Yeah, it's also a little different because Tom Brady is the face of that organization. Like Kemba Walker he passed through Boston.
Yeah,
like he was here forever.
You're the Kyrie replacement until your knee goes away for good.
I don't know. We're getting a lot of L's in the chat. People were not. There's a lot of people that do not think you were right. Oh no, it's all about chat. But people were. Someone was pushing back on you for saying that Jason Tatum was the best at his sport.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I've said this to you, Sean. There's like 13 top 5 players in the NBA. Jason Tatum's one of them.
No, he's not.
What?
No, he's not.
Suck my.
He is not on the same tier as Nikola Jokic.
That's the best player in the sport.
Yeah, there's
Well,
Nikola
didn't you
Jokic.
say that he was the best player?
I said he's like the best. I said he's the best at his sport. I did not mean he's the number 1 player in the league.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say he's on the top tier. Like there is a separate tier for Nikola Jokic.
Don't even say Giannis.
Giannis when he's fully healthy, I would say.
Yeah,
I think it's a big if. Kawhi Leonard when he's fully healthy is one of the best players of all time. Kevin Durant.
So
it's like a different tier.
There are. I said there's about 13 top 5 players in the NBA. And it's just like there's so many guys who are elite that, yeah, Kawhi's a top 5 player. Jason Tatum's a top 5 player. Jokic obviously is a top 5 player. LeBron, depending on the day. Kevin Durant. Book sometimes is a top 5 player.
Big sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah. Jason Tatum should not get blowback on being called one of the best players in the league or like one of the very best players in the league / one of the 13 top 5 players in the league. He is.
I think he is one of the best players in the league, but you specifically said that he's the best, which
I know.
But I'm just saying, because not everyone was privy to the conversation about the tier thing we have, so that's what people are pushing back on. And again, like there are 5-ish players that if I was starting a roster, a franchise right now, I'm taking before Jason Tatum.
Name him.
Cale Clark,
Luka Doncic, Jokic. Again, it's a big the question of health makes it a little different, but like Kawhi.
Assume everybody's healthy.
If everyone's healthy, then the list is probably more than 5. I'm taking Kawhi over him. I'm taking Giannis over him. Jokic, Luka. I would think about SGA right now. SGA probably could have been an MVP this year.
You're not taking SGA over Jason Tatum.
If I'm starting a franchise, if I'm playing one game, it might be a little different. If I'm starting a franchise, I'm taking it.
I'm saying this when Jason Tatum is Johnny the Joke Maker.
Jason Tatum is also the corniest player in basketball.
Who is?
Jason Tatum. It drives me crazy.
I
will never forgive him for texting dead Kobe Bryant's number.
That was weird.
And then posting that screenshot.
That was really weird.
Cringiest thing I have ever seen a pro athlete do.
I have some assumptions to make that
tattoos are a little weird too.
Tattoos are bad. I'm very ignorant towards the NBA, but where would you put Anthony Edwards in the rankings?
Anthony Edwards, I can't put him that high.
He's arriving.
He is arriving. He's awesome. I think he's like one of the coolest players in the league. He's awesome, but that would definitely be a prisoner of the moment thing to say that you're taking him over Tatum.
But he's like currently the Caitlin Clark of the NBA, where everyone's like, oh my God, I love this person so much. You got a hand up.
I'm taking Victor Wembanyama if I'm starting a franchise right now over Jason Tatum.
Oh yeah, I am too. But that's
Again, a different conversation.
Moving the goalposts a little bit, but that's okay. Other behavior stuff. JT Miller texted Rick Tocchet to apologize for playing poorly in Game 4. From Tocchet, quote, "Some guys are playing pause hockey, can't win. You can't." We said that yesterday. We don't know if he was necessarily referencing JT Miller, but JT Miller shot him a text and said, "Coach, that game, that's my bad. I think it's terrible behavior. I think that when you screw up, you have a responsibility to shut up about it and hope that nobody notices. You do not volunteer that information to your boss that you did a bad job."
Not where I thought you were going. I thought you were saying it was bad behavior to text him.
Yeah, right.
That was
It is bad behavior to text them.
That's
Yeah,
more
but-
where I land.
yeah.
It's like you guys
Say
see
it to his
each other
face.
at work
Yeah,
every day.
that's just weird to
say, "Hand up, coach. I can do better," and that doesn't have to make it into the public eye.
But also
No,
that
Alanis
part.
Morissette, hand in your pocket.
Yeah,
don't shut
No,
up.
it's-
about it.
it's
if
the-
no one's
it's the-
saying it, don't.
It's the
don't bring it
Jason
on you.
Tatum thing. You could send that text to Kobe Bryant. You don't screenshot it
Exactly,
and
yeah.
post it for the
Yeah.
internet.
I don't think that you do that, though, as a player. I think that if you are in any sort of leadership position, I think that it is important, especially if you're somebody who has to tell people how they're doing and like oversee a group. If you're going to be giving feedback and instruction on how a thing is going, I think that it's important for everybody to know that you do the same thing for yourself. So like if he were, I think that if Rick Tocchet wants to tell the guys like, "Hey, I fucked this thing up," as I'm telling you that you got to do this differently, it lets everybody know that like, hey, nothing's personal. We're just trying to do the best job that we could do here. JT Miller, I'd say text somebody else.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I feel like something like that seems like it'd be way more effective taking that accountability amongst your teammates than to your coach.
Group text.
Your coach knows that you haven't been playing well.
Why do you just keep going back to the text? Just say it in the locker room. Be like, "Boys,
But-
I know I haven't been playing up to standard." Like,
Grown
why-
ass men don't talk to each other.
Yeah, like I understand it. A large group like that, there could be room for you to do that in a group text.
So here's the bigger takeaway. I think that there is a communication problem amongst the Vancouver Canucks because
Well, you know how service is up there.
no, that's Winnipeg.
I know it's very good in Vancouver.
Well, I feel like Bell has an opportunity to go down at any given point too, so you might just lose service.
Yes, fair. Based off of our knowledge, I think there's an accountability problem amongst the Vancouver Canucks in that they're texting their feelings to within the team and not speaking up man to man.
maybe he was fishing for something back from Rick Tocchet.
Like, no,
Maybe he was trying to do the whole. Maybe he wanted to get Rick Tocchet to send back like a, "Hey, look, we all had a bad game," and then JT Miller could then screen grab that, send to the group, be like,
"See, it's
coach,
on you, bitches."
Coach knows he sucks.
yeah, be like, I haven't put you in a position to succeed. You know what? You're right. You haven't put me in a position to succeed.
No, I can
Hot
see,
seat, Rick Tocchet.
I can see Rick Tocchet just being the guy that hits that message with the thumbs up reaction
Yeah.
and doesn't actually respond. In which case, you're like, "Fuck, damn, that's the worst possible response."
Rick Tocchet could also be a, "No, I saw it, I got it," and like doesn't understand. You have to acknowledge it. You have to respond or something. Elias Pettersson, by the way, had a very sad press conference as
Very
well. I don't
sad.
know if we're going to show any of that, but basically, do you got it, Sean?
Mhm.
Hit us.
From your perspective, why has it been so difficult these last 3 months to generate the way you maybe did previously?
Yeah, good question.
Any thoughts, any answers?
No.
Look, any of my fellow therapy goers know that there comes a moment from time to time where you're like, I wish I had something to say right now, and I wish I had a solution, and I wish I knew how to like tie up this thought or this feeling. But sometimes shit is just happening, and it's just there. That's where Elias Pettersson is right now.
Yeah, like I didn't take that as Leon Draisaitl pissy behavior. That
No.
was more just like a lack of kind of being able to wrap his head around what's happening. And yeah, like hey, any thoughts on the thing? And no. Like, yeah, it comes off a little pissy, but he's just frustrated. He doesn't know what to say. And ultimately, I came away just being like, man, fucking sad. I hope that he gets it together. I hope that he's okay. Kind of reaction to that whole thing. I feel bad for him.
Oh, I feel bad for him as well. Sean, by the way, if you could monitor whatever is going on out west and see with the morning skates if anything is happening with Calvin Pickard, we'll talk about that game in just a couple of minutes. But other behavior that we need to
Before we move on, I do want to point out that Elias Pettersson in that same press conference basically lightly acknowledged that, hey, maybe this would be better if I had better line mates. Which,
there's a chicken egg situation there.
Yeah, not amazing, but he's right.
On that series, Canucks fans are now ruthlessly accusing media of being pro-Oilers, going particularly at Frank Saravalli, I think we all know him, and Craig Button. Somebody tweeted, "Your pro-Edmonton takes are embarrassing. Can you do your jobs objectively? Be better. Hashtag Canucks," which obviously there's some hypocrisy in there. Just like you're throwing Canucks hashtags on. Be fucking fair. Hashtag Go Canucks. Frank said the vitriol is so odd, blah, blah. And Craig Button tweeted this. "I'm just going full on, wearing this for the next game." And where the behavior question comes in is that is a woman's Edmonton Oilers jersey. They're a lot cheaper. We've discussed how Fanatics is problematic for not prioritizing women's jerseys. But is Craig Button going to wear a women's jersey, and is that good behavior?
I think that he has to now. Man of his word. Just put that out there. I think it's fine behavior. Like if you like the women's cut jersey, famously.
Is it copycat behavior, though?
In Pro Shop Wars, you're big on don't skip the women's section.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Craig Button did that on purpose, but he's committed now.
If only there's someone that we knew of who was sporting women's hockey jerseys before anybody else. I just don't know. Sean?
I just saw a Marchand quote that I loved.
Okay. What do you got?
Nobody wants to say it, but trying. I don't know if it's real, I guess. But
good. We're practicing for Felger Naz.
Well, it is from Ty Anderson. Nobody wants to say it, but trying to hurt other players is part of playoff hockey.
It's a good quote.
Fucking right, Brad.
Great quote.
Cry.
That will
more.
be a quote graphic after we log off the show. Trying to hurt other players is playoff hockey.
I'm surfing on Bruins fans' tears.
That
People didn't like it when PK Subban said it.
I mean,
the Subban thing was like, whatever. It could have been better. Could have been worse.
Well, I mean, he's right, but you also have to punish players when you're caught hurting them.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's the big thing.
Fair. Yeah, but
I
just didn't like
I
the
said it
idea
after
that
it came out. Like that happens every playoff run.
Yeah.
It is part of the game. It's cheap. It's bad. It's not great behavior, but it happens every fucking year. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. You just got to punish it if you find it.
People were acting like Bennett was a war criminal afterwards. Happens all the time.
Right. And again, like it happens so often that a lot of times it just becomes a fucking afterthought. Like I forget what year it was, 2015, 2016, something like that. Max Pacioretty in the second round against the Bruins, game one, fucking slashed the Dana Chara's hand, broke his fingers. He couldn't hold his stick the rest of the series. And because Chara is Chara and no excuses, blah, blah, couldn't hold his stick and played like fucking dog shit for an entire series. And it's because at the beginning of the series, someone said, okay, I'm just going to fucking take that guy's hand off. It is a very true quote that Brad Marchand said, even if people don't want to hear it.
Longer quote, more of the quote that he started by saying, I think he got away with the shot, but I'm not going to complain. Shit happens. I've been on the other side of a lot of plays. That's part of the game.
So anybody who dislikes Brad Marchand, just fucking like look at that quote.
Yeah, I mean,
he knows who he is. He's very self-aware.
You can that's kind of been my thing with the whole discourse around it, is just like this part of hockey. Every team has him. You have Bennett. Bruins have, like, Panthers fans have Bennett. Bruins fans have Marchand. It happens. No one deserves to get hurt. That's a weird thing to say too. But again, he didn't murder anybody.
I think everybody has handled this situation well, except for the NHL. Like Brad Marchand not crying about it. Sam Bennett did face the music, did the interviews, didn't really like
lied.
Didn't really get pressed.
Didn't own it.
He has to lie though.
Yeah, you can't.
Like he's in no other position. He's not going to say, I tried to fucking kill him. So I think everybody's handled this pretty well, except for the NHL and Steve Goldstein.
No, I think Steve Goldstein's been cool as shit about it. It's been really entertaining for me because he's still in our mentions fighting with people, being like, I didn't know. Leave me alone. How was I to know? Let's do a slate grade. There are 2 games this evening at 7 p.m. The Rangers visit the Hurricanes for Game 6. Rangers lead that series 3-2. And at 10 p.m., the Oilers visit the Vancouver Canucks for Game 5. That series is 2-2. Honestly, I give this an A, and it's more for the Rangers than it is for the Oilers, because I think that is a massive, massive game. Obviously, it's a closeout game, an elimination game. Here's where we could see which team potentially could force the first Game 7 of this series. And the Oilers series, I just kind of think is over. I think that's already sewn up for Edmonton. So I'm going to watch that one after. I'm going to watch it. I'm an Oilers fan.
I struggle with this. I don't know how much you're trolling.
I don't know how much of it is a bit.
Yeah, I really can't tell.
Do you see me with the fucking cane dancing?
Saying that it's over is fucking wild behavior.
Saying you're not worried, completely acceptable.
That's fine.
Saying
it's over. Saying the series is over is crazy.
But also,
it's kind of over.
It's kind of over.
Yeah, it's over.
On paper,
not.
I know it's not. It's not really. But like on paper, it's Connor McDavid versus Shilovs. Like it shouldn't be a contest.
You're right. Although Carson Soucy comes back.
Ooh,
I got to see a Soucy Perry showdown. I was talking with my boys, Liam and Tyler, yesterday on Oilers Nation Every Day, and they were saying, like, hey, maybe Henrique comes back, and then you could take Corey Perry out of the lineup. I said, boys, don't you fucking fix your mouths to say that. We are a Corey Perry podcast the rest of the way. Need him and Soucy squaring off, because imagine the shit they would do.
It's going to be like Star Wars, where the lightsabers hit and they don't go anywhere, and it's just like kind of an explosion.
Yes, yeah. No, what I want to see is the undercard for this game. The pre-game ceremony should be Carson Soucy at one end, Corey Perry at the other end, and like the XFL opening thing.
Yeah, that's
they skate towards each other, holding their stick out, cross check motion, full no motion,
face-offs,
and they just basically joust.
Yeah.
And can we bring in the Vegas Golden Knights production team to kind of swoop that
100%.
up? Maybe get some fire on these bitches underneath them. They skate out. Ooh, it's on fire now. They throw, and then they do one of these, they do a matching cross check thing, and when they make contact, one of them flies way back, and the crowd. Ooh,
man, a pregame jousting ceremony. Yeah. For lack of a better term, would get the crowd fucking going.
Amazing. Complaints in the chat that I am not with a cane dancing. That's at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. US, 98.5 The Sports Hub, NBC Sports Boston. For an entire hour, Pete and I will do a coordinated, well-rehearsed dance featuring Sean. He's going to jump in from the other room. He's going to throw us some hats. It's going to be a wild thing. But exciting night of hockey ahead.
Huge
I do
night.
give this a sincere A. AJ Malesko last night said that she would start Stu Skinner in Game 5 for the Oilers. What say you boys?
I would not.
No way, Jose.
No, I would not. All you need from the Oilers, fine goaltending. That's all you need. You know who's shown that he can provide that in this series? Calvin Pickard.
I don't even know that. I don't even know if he's done fine goaltending. I just know that he hasn't done.
He let up 2
goals,
and neither one of them was his fault.
But he also didn't face anything, which is fine.
But you know who else has?
So that's what I'm saying. Stu would have allowed goals on the nothing shots.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He stopped. So we don't know if he's locked in, if he's fine, if he's whatever. All we know is
you can only go
letting everything in.
You can only go based off of what you have seen in this series. And what you have seen is that Stuart Skinner is not capable of giving you average and fine goaltending. And you have a guy who has proven that he can give that to you. So you've got to go with that guy.
It's the second part that you lose me on.
You have no evidence. You have no evidence that Calvin Pickard has been a problem for you in this series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Point that I saw someone make on Twitter, which I'm curious your thoughts on. If Pickard being back there forces the Oilers to play a more defensive style.
Definitely, it did. They were way better defensively. That was by far their lowest expected goals against at 5-on-5 and shorthanded and in all situations. And there was a 2-minute double minor in the first period.
But do you think that's a direct result of
1,000%. It's the backup goaltender effect.
I think that like that's a good thing for the Oilers too. If the Oilers should play the worst goaltender on their roster, they should play
Always.
Jack Campbell.
Fuck you, Jack
They should
Campbell.
play Jack Campbell because it forces that team to be uncomfortable and play defensive hockey, and that's what they need to do.
Here's a question. And by the way, Stu Skinner 9-1 after losses. So the numbers would suggest that Stu Skinner, if he did re-enter the lineup, would not lose again. But I think that right now we've reached an all bets are off thing with Stu Skinner, who, what a fucking fascinating career that guy has had. Like, all-star as a rookie, not the guy going into the playoffs, takes the net from Jack Campbell, who kind of gave the net to him, and now here we are. My question is, can the Oilers win a Stanley Cup this year without Skinner being the guy? And when I say like that's my question, I say it in a real, I question this.
Well, I mean, I guess the other part of that question is like, do they have a guy? You know, like, can the Oilers win the Stanley Cup without the guy in net? Like, without finding the guy in net?
So anybody can. We've seen it before. Penguins have done it. I don't want to say that the Knights have done it, but they kind of did, just in that like
Hill was
he
playing
wasn't
great,
the guy
though.
at that point.
Yeah, but Aiden Hill was playing great.
Right.
Would you consider
So-
Darcy Kemper one of those guys?
No, yeah, like that. No,
because
absolutely
he was like
not.
their
That
starting
is-
goalie.
That has been the exception to the rule in recent years, is that you need a good goaltender to win the Stanley Cup. Darcy Kemper was not good when the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, but the Colorado Avalanche were so good that it did not matter. And that is the exception of the rule. Everything else has shown you need really good goaltending to win the cup, which is why I kind of phrased the question that way. Do the Oilers find good goaltending?
So I think you need good goaltending. Like the Blues are another example of like Binnington had his good days and he had his bad days, and they ended up winning the cup for whatever godforsaken reasons. I guess it just boils down to, is Pickard going to be a representative, good enough goaltender? Because I do think the Oilers can win the cup with fine, to use your word, or good enough goaltending. If
I don't know if they can, though, because
we don't know based on that last game, like if that's what Pickard's going to be, you'll definitely take. If you were to tell me the Oilers are allowing 2 goals a game the rest of the way, I'll fucking take my chances on they're going to score 3 goals and win games.
Yeah, but I don't think that the Oilers are good enough to overcome fine goaltending the entire way through. The Colorado Avalanche were good enough because they were very strong on the back end. They had elite shutdown guys on the back end. The Oilers don't have that. They have like 1.5 defensive pair. They have one good elite defenseman in Matthias Ekholm, and that's it.
That is correct.
So I don't think that they are good enough, especially when you look at the rest of the field. Like, are they getting past the Dallas Stars or, God forbid, the Colorado Avalanche with fine goaltending when there is another powerhouse team on the other side?
They can beat the Oilers can beat the Stars. I think they probably would not beat the Stars. And I think that if they go into that series with a big question in net, that takes an even bigger hit. And I don't know if by the end of this series we'll know if any sort of question has been answered, because you do have to still keep in mind with the Oilers Canucks, it's over. The Oilers are winning this series anyway. So like when you get out of it, do you get out of it thinking like a goalie got hot, to which haters and maybe even realists will say, got hot against whom? A dead Elias Pettersson?
But I mean, like, the Canucks have been good. They've been a good team despite some of their best players being a little quiet. And they have a third string goalie in net, like, who has played amazing. But
I love Artur Shilov.
Yeah,
I love. By the way, you see the Kings extended Riddick. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Riddick for 1 year.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Oilers fans were having a little fun with that yesterday. They were like, "Oh, love." Saw someone did like, "Love this for you guys."
When you were talking about Corey Perry earlier, did you mention that it's his birthday today?
No, did not.
Happy birthday, Corey Perry.
Whoa, thank you. That's a good shit, Sean. How old is he?
21.
Yep. Just turned 21. No,
How
I'm
old
not
is Corey
sure.
Perry?
They did not. The Oilers did not include that in their tweet.
Oh, Trouble in Paradise.
Do we have confirmed, by the way, that that Pickard is starting?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
Corey Perry turns 39 today.
39. Okay. A
for him.
young Joe Pavelski.
That's right.
39 years young. So
Ultimately, like that, the question is like, I guess like the question that's being begged to be asked right now is like, do you believe that the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup? Because it sounds like you don't believe that they're going to find a good goaltender.
Look, I share this in common with my dear friend Mike Felger. I cannot predict the future. I'm not going to predict the future. I'm telling you, like, what is currently happening is the Oilers are winning their series. That's not predicting the future. That series is over. It's just saying what is. I'm not saying who's going to win the cup. I have my thought on who I think will win the cup, and it's the
Dallas,
Stars.
huh? Yeah.
I think that's where I think a lot of us have arrived by now. Kudos to Pete for putting his money where his mouth was
In February.
a while ago. But I think it would behoove the Oilers to get good goaltending, and their best chance of that is from Stu Skinner.
Yeah.
I don't know how they get back to Stu Skinner, though.
That's the problem is like, what is the past?
Similarly, I said this to you and Katie the other night. I think the Bruins' best chance of winning their series against the Panthers would be for them to somehow take Game 6 with Linus Ullmark in net. They can't do it. They won't do it. It would be such a fucking risk. But if I'm actually thinking about like, how do I think, okay, yeah, they would win that. If you were to tell me, hey, the Bruins played Ullmark in Game 6 and won, and now they've got arrested Jeremy Swayman for Game 7, I'd be like, the Bruins are, holy fuck, the Bruins are winning that fucking series. It's not happening, though. They're not going to do that.
You can't plan for a Game 7 when you're not guaranteed to be there.
If you're telling me, correct, if you're telling me that the Oilers are going to get to the Stanley Cup final, I would assume it would be from Skinner having found his game.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely they do it that way than by Pickard turning into something that he has literally never been. I wish that you were there the other day when I explained to Mike Felger who Calvin Pickard was. He was just
perplexed.
No, he was elated. He thought it was the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah, I think like I agree with you 100% that Skinner has more potential to be the guy that they need, and at some point the road needs to lead back to Stuart Skinner. I just think you can't trust him. You can't go to him now. Your best bet is turning it back to him in like a Game 1 after you make it through, if you make it through, because the series is not over. But I think like if you make it through with Calvin Pickard, you try turning the net back to Stu Skinner with Game 1.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Okay, friends. Well, we'll all find out tonight, and maybe, who knows, maybe it goes into overtime. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, make sure you are, because obviously we have gone to the overtime streams whenever these games hit overtime. Lastly, do want to get in one last super chat from J. Crow, who is giving lunch money to the final boss. The final boss is, again, the apparent villain of today's chat, Sean.
The Panther Stroll.
That's a strange behavior, because
ALLCITY gets that money.
That $5 comes to us, to ALLCITY, and final boss doesn't see it. So that's our lunch money. So thank you.
Maybe
we'll take it.
Is final boss working for ALLCITY?
Maybe it's just a plant to get free money.
I will say, would be genius. We got multiple super chats because of Final Boss.
But guess what? This is great for us. We just stole Final Boss's lunch money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so we're the true bullies here. We just took his lunch money.
I don't like that. If I had $5 on me, my wallet's all the way over there. I'm not fucking bullying anybody.
Bully the bully.
I'll bully the bully. We'll take his lunch money.
Won't do it. Won't do it.
We're the heroes.
If you fucking bully me, you know what I'm gonna fucking do back to you?
Cry.
I'm gonna fucking cry, and then you gotta fucking live with that. You made someone cry. Nice job.
Are you
asshole.
a bully?
Am I a bully? I'm not a bully.
Well, then I wouldn't make you cry. If you're a bully, you deserve to be made to cry.
It's true.
Oh,
Taste
so
of your own
if
medicine.
you're bullying
Brad
a bully,
Marchand situation.
Yeah, the bully of a bully. What's the difference between that and a superhero? They're just
Flying.
beating up bad people. Well, not every superhero can fly.
The good ones
Bullying
can.
grade A+.
Best superpower is super speed.
J Crow, we appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks to everybody who super chatted. Thanks to everybody who watched. Thanks to everybody who subscribed. Thanks to everybody who liked. We appreciate you all. Catch us on Felger and Mass today, 3 to 4 p.m.
Yep, Felger at 985thesportshub.com. Make sure to send emails about how good we are and about how good our behavior is, and maybe even discuss their behavior as well. If you just use the word behavior as many times as you can in an email, they will have to read it, and that's just great behavior on your part. Felger at 985thesportshub.com. Make sure you're subscribed everywhere for our show, What Chaos. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.